The Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We are, well, it seems moments away from the U.S. getting involved in this war. We've definitely got some intel that's going to suggest that to you. Got a whole lot going on. And also, just the damage is quite insane. What's happening in Israel right now, certainly what's happening in Iran. But Israel looks horrible. Like, Israel looks like Gaza right now. It's really a trip. So we're going to get into all of that. Also got some new breaking news on the individual that shot the two people in Minnesota, the two senators or whatever, or the senator and her husband. And then he, I guess, shot two others. And at first I thought I misreported the story because the two others got shot like 8 and 9 times and lived. They're in a hospital, but they're in critical condition. I believe they're going to make it, is what they're suggesting. But they caught the individual, and we've got some information around that. So a lot to talk about. I'm going to jump into it right this segundo. FBI is issuing urgent warning to 150 million iPhone users. I am bringing this up specifically because I know there's a butt ton of you guys out there that have iPhones. They're also doing this to people that have Androids as well. Don't get me wrong. But this is how most, quote, hacks happen. This is phishing. This is exactly what this is, or this is essentially an email or a text. And when you click on the link to take care of business, you infect your phone. So all these people that are like, they can't write viruses to Apples, that's not true. The only reason that was ever true was because not as many people had Apples early on, and so it wasn't worth writing viruses for it. That has long since changed. They write lots of viruses for iPhones. They are very easy to do that with. Now, again, there's some tricks and whatnot. I mean, there are exploits, and always probably will be. And in all honesty, it wouldn't surprise me if, like a Mossad or a CIA or whatever was kind of behind this. Whatever the case is, if you get this from the DMV, this is one of the things they're doing. Your toll payment for the Easy Pass lane must be settled by April 16, 2025 to avoid fines and the suspension of your driving privileges. Kindly pay by the due date. Here's a link. That is ease-zpass.com. That's probably not how it works. Now, here's the thing that you always want to do. If you get a text or if you get an email that says, hey, you got to do this thing or else we're going to come and shove a baton up your butt, and you don't want that to happen, well, some people are weird, go to the site yourself. Do not click the link. And don't type it in exactly how they said it because you'll infect whatever the hell. That link is most likely dirty. So if you have an Easy Pass account, cool. Log into it and see if you have a fine. I got one of these recently on my phone, and it said I had a fine. I got an email. And I was like, huh? And at first I looked at the license and it was like, that's not me. And then I looked at it on the toll road thing. I actually logged into my app on the toll road or the actual, the web page. And I saw, oh yeah, crap. I actually had, so when I bought my motorcycle, I put the temporary license plate in the system and I never changed it. So they finally figured out who I was. I mean, I have a transponder in there, but again, I logged in the normal way. I didn't believe the email. So if you don't have an account, I wouldn't worry about it. It's BS. If you do have an account, log into the account, not through the phone or through the text, but through the actual app or through the web page, however you would normally connect to that. Don't ever go through the links on the email or the phone, ever. Just as a general rule. We got a post from Political. This guy, Bill Essayli, apparently he's out for revenge. This is a guy who used to work up as a Republican up in Sacramento and constantly found himself behind the 8 ball in everything he did. Well, he's recently been appointed to the U.S. Attorney for California's Central District. He spent years in Sacramento, angrily chafing at one-party rule, elected but impotent. Now he's ready to show the Dems how it feels to be powerless. He has already charged David Huerta, one of California's most powerful union leaders, with felony conspiracy for allegedly impeding an ICE arrest by participating in a protest. On Thursday, he stood by as California Senator Alex Padilla was handcuffed and forced to the ground at a press conference hosted by Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. So this dude is majorly fighting the fight, and he is putting on quite the show, it seems. And he's got a lot of the Democrats freaking out. They're like, we're afraid, we're worried. Here it is. The Democrats that bullied Bill Essayli should be very worried, said the Assemblyman Carl De Mayo, a Republican who worked to get Essayli elected before serving alongside him. They've never been held accountable, but life changes. And this is the one thing that Democrats are finding right now in general. They've never been held accountable, ever. until now. And we are bringing the pain. All right, what do we got here? Maniac barges into New York City courthouse and slashes officers in the neck and face in a chaotic scene. Now, nobody was killed, thank God. But this individual, Jonathan Wohl, 37 of Queens, ran into the lobby of the Manhattan Criminal Court at 100 Center Street, I guess, around 9:30. What's interesting is this dude had been arrested many times. Wohl had been arrested 18 times in the past, mostly for drugs, but only 3 of those cases remain open, according to sources. Now, again, not saying all drug people should end up in jail for good, but it is funny when you send criminals back out on the street and they turn around and commit more crime. Yeah, you got to figure you're doing something wrong, especially when it's been 18 times. Dude wasn't even expected in court today, and just all of a sudden shows up, cut some people. Gotta cut somebody. So he did. DOJ official defends alleged quid pro quo with New York City Mayor Eric Adams as judge hauls prosecutors to court. Want to discuss this case. They think acting Deputy Attorney General Emile Beauvais III and attorney for Adams faced questions from a federal judge about dropping the 5-count indictment against the mayor. Beauvais, a former criminal defense lawyer for President Donald Trump, ordered federal prosecutors in Manhattan to sign a motion to dismiss the case last week, arguing the New York City mayor was needed to help Trump carry out his agenda, especially as it pertains to immigration. When federal prosecutors in New York refused, he turned to the Justice Department. So sitting before District Judge Dale Ho on Wednesday, Beauvais denied the Manhattan prosecutor's allegation that he struck a deal with Adams to drop the indictment in exchange for his help, but said even if he had, it wouldn't matter. They got head in there. I don't think that's what they meant, because that would be strange. He says, I don't concede that even if there was a quid pro quo, there would be an issue with the motion. He's basically saying, even if we did do that, I didn't, but even if we did, who cares? So, I don't know, whatever the case is, this is definitely, they want to bust Adams. They're pissed off that Adams stepped outside of the lines. Democrats don't let you step outside the lines, ever. Oddly, it seems like the Republican Party is the only place where you can do that freely all the time and never get in trouble for it. And we don't necessarily want to be like the Democrats. They are just the best example of like the deep state. And they don't let you step outside the lines. Got 5 million people that joined the anti-Trump rallies across the U.S. All right. I mean, that's not bad. Good for them. No kings. It was funny. Trump apparently truthed something. I couldn't find it. I'm guessing he deleted it. I sometimes always question whether or not people just make stuff up sometimes. But apparently he was sort of kind of giving these guys a hard time, trolling them a little bit, and basically saying, look, I heard you guys were looking to keep the kings out. No kings. And he says, I was nervous. I thought a king was trying to take over. He says, so fortunately, thanks to what you guys have done, I'm still your president. So thank you. Being a total dick to them, which is fantastic. But yeah, so all over 1,500 counties, yada, yada. 5 million people across the entire nation, especially when they had to bus a bunch of them in. I don't know how much of that's too much to worry about, but whatever. All right, so the shooting suspect was in fact found. What do we got? Oh yeah, this gave us some information about where they found him, and this was kind of the interesting part. So apparently this dude was arrested near his home. He has a farm out there. They found his cowboy hat in his car. And at one point, he apparently went and started hiding. Then they saw him kind of run off into the forest. So they got helicopters involved. They eventually got a drone involved. They might have even had some dogs involved, if I remember correctly. They finally found him. So they finally caught the guy. They closed the distance about 90 minutes. And then, yeah, he was crawling through thick shrubs before being arrested. So they caught him. Big time caught him. So this dude right here, he is status of the suspected, Vance Bolter remains unclear. Yeah, was this his wife? Yeah. Sorry. They talked to his wife. They pulled her over. She was in a car with family. She had a firearm with her. I think it's legal in Minnesota. Secondly, they were both had a security company. So the fact that she had a weapon is pretty expected. Apparently, they talked to her for a while. It doesn't sound like she knew where he was, but they talked to her before they had actually found him. Apparently, they live in separate locations, something roughly 80 miles apart or something to that effect. There it is, 80 miles away. It's amazing what I can remember and what I can't sometimes, whatever the case is. So the wife didn't seem to know anything either, but all said, this is how the game is played. This was interesting, and I don't know, this is a dude that knew him, and it seems like this is something this guy did. Like, he sounds guilty.
Oh, because he was on call for work, and he'd always say, yeah, I need rest for work, so I'm sharp. Because he was extracting eyeballs, so gotta be sharp for that.
I remember him walking out of the house, or hearing him walking out or anything like that.
Nope.
Was it unusual for him to go to bed at 7 p.m.? I mean, when you say...
Well, it depends on the shift, no, because he is working all kinds of hours. Didn't seem odd, no.
Did he give you any emotional message, said that he loves you, besides the text messages or something like that that seemed off?
Well, he said that he made some choices. And he said, you guys don't know anything about it, but, yeah.
Another big ass.
But he said he didn't have much time to live.
Another big ass. Do you mind if I take a picture of the text message?
Nah, I kind of...
So, long story short, he had, it's not worth listening to all 4 minutes of that, but, yeah, he made some choices. He's figuring he didn't have long to live. So, the dude's guilty. Someone reached out to me and tried to say he was a patsy and somebody knew him from church or whatever the hell, and they said he wouldn't do that at all. It appears he would, so I don't think that information was correct. I didn't believe it anyway. It was secondhand information, and no offense to the individual that sent it to me, but secondhand information. I wasn't going to trust that for a heartbeat. And as it turns out, it was not correct, so that was well done on my part. Lawmakers call for more security for elected officials after the Minnesota shootings. So I just thought it was interesting. Like, we tried to get more security for people like Kavanaugh and them. We also had the dude, I forget his name, that got shot while playing softball, right? He's still in Congress, by the way. He didn't get extra security or anything like that, right? So again, it's just funny. The Dems will frequently not give us extra security because they're usually the ones behind the violence and they don't want to make them safe. But I guess in this case, when it's their own people getting attacked, all of a sudden they want to have more security. That's cool. That's good. I'm not against that in any way, shape, or form. That much is for sure. I just want to remind you guys of Healthy Home. It's such a great product. It helps in so many ways. They're just really, really good products that help keep us healthy. That's one of the most important parts. And just feeling younger and healthier, too. That's kind of the funny part. Stem Active is powerful. What this does is it helps your own body create more stem cells. It's very possible, very helpful. Again, there's a pill form. There's also a liquid form. I take 2 of these a day. What it does is it instantly enhances my stem cell count in my body by 25 to 40%. Just boom. Not instantly, but within minutes, within a very short period of time. My body's already got more stem cells. Stem cells are the cells your body uses to heal. So if you've got any sort of healing that's going on inside of your body, any sort of inflammation, any sort of stuff like that, you've got healing inside your body. You might not have enough stem cells running around to take care of business. This is an excellent way to do that. They've got a gel, which is essentially a liquid, probably gets into your system a hair faster, and is actually a few bucks cheaper. And they've got the pills. It's what I use. They're just easier. I like pills. The liquids are good. I mean, I don't know. I use the liquid for the collagen. Love this stuff, too. It's freaking awesome. Balance is a powerful product right now that a lot of ladies that are going through the change are using. And they're finding it to be extraordinarily effective. There's 14 potent plant-based ingredients. There's no hormones in this, all right? But Balance helps restore your energy. It helps uplift your moods. It enhances your sleep, and it supports well-being for you and those around you, if you know what I'm talking about. It's a transdermal lotion, so you just put a little bit of the lotion on your wrist, you rub your wrists together, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good for the day. This stuff works very well. All sorts of people are raving about how they're just feeling better. And it's a powerful product. Amaze is incredible. You got sagging skin, sore muscles, joint discomfort, lifeless hair, crappy fingernails. Dude, collagen is the key. Collagen peptide is one of the best ways you can get collagen into your system, and it is the most important protein that we can ever possibly put into our bodies. It is a very, very powerful agent within us. This is an excellent way. My girlfriend's been, one, the hair thing, and then 2, she's got a little thing above her eye. The thing above her eye actually looks significantly better. It was funny is when I was pointing it out to her, I'm like, the thing in your eye looks really good. And then she starts friggin' touching it. I'm like, get your freaking hands off that. Dadgummit. We've come this far. So she doubled up, though. That's what she's doing. She was taking 2 of these. She takes 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and she's been stoked. She's just like her candy right now. I do 1 a day, and I've actually noticed a big difference in a number of places, too. Just feeling better in general. Definitely my nails and hair grow like weirdly fast. And again, I just feel better. That between that and the STEM Active and the Prime, of course. Prime I love the Prime. This is just energy, big time. And this is very fast. There's one of these little packets. You get like 30 of these in there. They instantly, like within 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes, energy. You just notice it. It's a nitric oxide booster. It causes your blood vessels to expand, so essentially more blood can transfer through, and thusly giving you more energy. We've also got STEM Active for pets. You got the little ones that have arthritis and inflammation or issues with their coats or issues with health in general. Maybe they've had a surgery recently. You want to get some STEM Active for your pets. It's actually significantly less expensive than what it costs for us as humans. And it's just as effective. Might be something you want to check out. You got your little ones that maybe need some extra healing. This does the same thing. It allows their own bodies to heal themselves even faster. So again, we've got products for everybody. You want to go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Make those healthy choices to keep yourself healthy and living longer. That's the important part. And your little ones living longer with you too, you know? That's always helpful. DHS responds after violent rioters storm an ICE facility and assault law enforcement officers. There was one of these I guess I wanted to share the video because this got pretty crazy out there. One, they literally have just really damaged this particular building, and they're not backing down. So when they talk about peaceful protests, again, when you look at the amount of damage that has been done, the amount of broken stuff, curse words spray painted all over the place. I don't know if I'm going to play all of this. I'll play it faster, maybe, if I can. I guess I can't.
Yeah, the door's broke.
We'll do it over here. Then I can. All right, check it out over here. Just look at how much damage it has been done. I don't think I need to play all this. They don't really move around too much. But yeah, again, just broken stuff everywhere. Obviously spray painting, broken doors, broken windows. This is not protest. This is not peaceful. This is an assault of a federal government building. There's nothing peaceful about this. I think there were some people up on the roof. You can see one of them there. Some of them might have been pointing some weapons, probably pepper balls and stuff like that, rubber bullets maybe. These guys realized that they didn't want to get too close, but at the same time, these guys weren't making themselves easy targets by any stretch of the imagination. But again, yeah, just not a pretty sight. Not good what's going on. And again, the wrong people keep supporting this stuff. Now, Kelly Osbourne, she tried to do basically the same thing Karen Bass did, except in her case it was worse because she's white. But it's okay. We don't have Karen Bass's, we just have her comment. And she was talking about how if ICE raids persist, there's going to be nobody left to nanny LA's children or to garden. So here's Kelly Osbourne saying much the same of what 9 years ago. And The View even freaked out when she was talking like this.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
but
they
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it
doing
like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that. Okay, I'm not part of this argument with...
I think what you're saying is that Trump himself
needs to look out
probably relies on a lot of these people that he's insulting.
As they try to steal what stupid stuff she was saying. Now, again, this is Kelly Osbourne, so you don't expect her to say anything intelligent. But Karen Bass, she should know better, even though she obviously is a communist. She worked with Cuba. There's a whole lot of stuff with the CIA and all this. So she's got a very interesting past, to say the least. Trump orders ICE to expand illegal immigrant deportation efforts. In a Truth Social post, Trump urged ICE officers to do everything they can to carry out what he describes as the largest mass deportation operation of illegal aliens in history, particularly in cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. This is the key, because these are the 3 places that are most likely to get out of control. And this is where I think that's why Trump is more worried about putting the National Guard in Los Angeles and hasn't done anything yet with Portland. I think Portland's kind of expected to be a mess. And he sort of wants, I think, some of those examples. So maybe Portland's one of the ones we're going to take a loss on. I mean, I feel bad for Organites, but ultimately this is your guys' creation. You guys have a mess going on. You guys need to make your own noise. If for some reason there's people in Oregon that actually watch my show, hopefully you guys are more out in like Eastern Oregon or something, but whatever the case is, it is a mess going on. We can't expect to see, one, more arrests, more ICE arrests, and I'll be curious to see how many people actually come down to try to stop these ICE arrests, knowing full well they're going to get arrested. Knowing full well they're going to get arrested. We'll see. CCP ties in spotlight amid nationwide anti-ICE protests. We've got a new new company, and the country's running it. There we go. That's kind of close. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna announced on X on June 10th that the House Oversight Committee will be calling Singham to testify regarding the funding of a communist group tied to both the Los Angeles riots and the CCP. Now, what I do find interesting is the Singham guy. He's an American businessman living in China, allegedly funds protest groups in the United States, including what's going on now. So in a letter to Singham, the House Oversight Committee alleged that he funded the Party for Socialism and Liberation, the PSL. It's a Marxist political organization that has fielded presidential candidates since 2008. In a separate letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, the committee accused the group of being involved in the Los Angeles riots and requested the DOJ to investigate the group's ties for potential violations of FARA or incitements of violence. PSL is also affiliated with the People's Forum. It's a New York City-based nonprofit known for promoting radical leftist activism and hosting Marxist thinkers. In 2021, the People's Forum described Singham as the Marxist comrade who sold his company and donated most of his wealth to nonprofits that focus on political education, culture, and internationalism. And why is he living in China? Right? Not the best place to live, especially as an American. One's got to wonder what's going on. Now, I could understand from the lady perspective why you would want to live in China, but I don't know if maybe that's why he's there. Who knows? Most Hispanic voters back Trump deportation policy amid anti-ICE riots. There's a poll that came out, and it is showing that nearly 6 out of 10 registered voters surveyed, including Hispanic voters, actually support what Trump is doing. And see, my girlfriend is from the Philippines and immigrated here properly, legally, got everything the way it was supposed to be, and she doesn't like this nonsense at all. So this concept that we're a nation of immigrants and all the people that are here illegally and immigrants that are here legally somehow are on the same page is about as far from the truth as possible. Anyone that's done it correctly and properly put a lot of effort into it and does not respect those who cut in line. And that is exactly how most people see this. So again, the Dems continue to try to make this noise like we're just going after all the people that are supposed to mow our lawns and watch our kids, when in reality, they're not supported by most people. Democrats are losing the argument, losing the voice, losing control, and we're going to keep fighting them every step of the way. Donald Trump truthed this out. Ooh, no, this was when I was trying to find his post for the one where he supposedly was trolling. I couldn't find it, though. It was a really bummer. It was pretty funny how he was trolling the others. Whatever. Case is closed. That's what it is. We got some shocking footage showing the Air India plane explode after the tragic crash. The weirdest part about this, and again, this is, I don't know, it's pretty messed up. It's not horrible. There's nothing crazy that's shown other than the fireball. What's really weird is the dude, the one survivor, just walking out of the fireball area unscathed. Literally walking out of the fireball unscathed. Dude's luckiest man alive, or some other crazy stuff was going on here. I don't know. Whatever the case is, check it out. Dude literally just walks out of here. Walks out of here. You can see him right here. I don't know how close to the fire he was initially, but had to be pretty close to the fire, and just walks on out. Walks on out. Craziness. Total craziness, in fact. At least in my humble opinion. All eyes on Trump. He's at the G7 meeting in Canada. Oddly Canada, of all places right now. But yeah, Alberta, Canada, too, they're saying is strange because I guess Alberta is one of the provinces that's debating on leaving Canada, possibly becoming one of our states, maybe. Who knows? Something weird going on out there. But yeah, a lot of the leaders out there hoping to do some sort of, find out info from Trump and try to share it with everybody else. I don't think Trump's going to be sharing much of anything. There was also a discussion that there might be an attempt to get Trump to sign some sort of accord that would get Iran and Israel to stop fighting. Trump's like, no, not interested in signing that. So I don't know. We'll see. A lot going on. I'm sure Trump is pretty much talking hardball with the G7 guys. We'll see what happens. All right, we got some stuff with the war. And this is where the intel is going to show up. We're almost assuredly we're going to be more heavily involved. I don't know how it gets justified. Maybe it's just quote unquote under the guise of trying to help shoot down some of these missiles because Israel is getting damaged pretty significantly. One of the things that's happening, it's been happening for a while. I also think this explains why Space Force got involved with a GPS and a new version of GPS for the military, and they started putting that up in the air quite a while back up in space, I guess technically. GPS jamming has been happening. Now, this is the commercial GPS. This is the type of GPS you use on your phone, type of GPS in your car. This is not the type of GPS that military uses. First off, the GPS that military uses is significantly more accurate. It's very accurate what we've got for commercial, but not nearly as accurate as the military's version. So I think that's one of the reasons why they knew this jamming technology occurred. I think Russia might have been, or China, one of the two, were the ones that probably came up with this. And they've figured out how to jam that regular GPS signal, which used to get used heavily by many of the craft that were in the alliance or on our side of the fence, if you will. Kind of interesting. I don't know. This is not necessarily new news, but it's still. Trump says you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. Just done. You know, a lot of people are like, dude, I thought you were the peaceful president. I thought you were the president of peace. And he's like, look, here's the deal. If Iran has a nuke, peace doesn't exist. It will get used. And if a nuke gets used by some sort of, terrorist proxy group, then you can't really attack the people that made it. You can only really punish the people that used it. Now, again, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not nukes will even work right now. I personally don't think they do. I think any nukes that are created are probably neutralized quickly. I think we have some help. There's been all sorts of sightings around nuclear facilities way back in the day, too, especially back in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. There was many, many, many UFO sightings. Orbs and stuff like that would go over to silos. They'd mess around by the silo and then take off, and then that silo was no longer working. It, literally, I don't even know if it's literally making the weapons not capable of working or if it's even taking the nuclearization from it. Like, it's not even a nuke anymore. I'm not 100% sure how they affect it. They don't really share that kind of information with us, certainly because it's dangerous. You've got foreign things that are possibly taking away our ability to protect ourselves. But you cannot have peace if you've got nuclear weapons. Marjorie Taylor Greene's blasting all the disgusting MAGA hawks breaking ranks over the Iran war. I don't disagree with her. I find Marjorie Taylor Greene is way too black and white for me, just in general. That there's always gray area. There is no just black or white, always this or always that. So I have a problem with her in that regard only. I agree with what she's saying, but at the same time, I realize there's a significant problem. We need Iran to no longer have nuclear weapons. Those nuclear weapons are buried deep beneath a bunker, or deep in a bunker beneath a mountain. Israel doesn't have the ability to hit those. We haven't hit those. Those haven't been destroyed yet. They're still there. Their ability to possibly launch weapons, nukes, is still possible. Now, I would assume we're paying very close attention to any ins or outs of this facility. If they see any sort of trucks coming out of it, they might assume that they have nuclear devices or something that effect, and they're maybe trying to get them to one of these missiles. I mean, Iran has crap tons of missiles. They set up to 3,000. I mean, they've shot in bunches, but they've got quite a few missiles. Israel has done a pretty bang-up job getting rid of a lot of their launch vehicles. In fact, I think they've figured they've gotten about a third of them so far, and we'll get there in a sec. Now, Graham would be one of the war hawks, I guess she's talking about, and says to Trump, hey, look, if you're going to do it, go all in. Don't just partially do it. If you're going to give weapons to Israel, give them the bunker busters. If you're going to go in there and make it happen. Now, again, I dislike Graham in every way, shape, and form, like everywhere. But if we do get involved, and we're going to need to hit that site. And again, I'm not cool with enhancing the war further, but I definitely don't trust Iran. I think they're trying to get a stall in the fighting because Iran doesn't have a chance. They're going to get messed up. They are shooting missiles, and they're doing some very significant damage to Israel. But that's it. Israel has air superiority completely. Iran has no real air force to speak of. There's like 1970s aircraft. In fact, they had one refueler. That got blown up. I don't think I have the story, but Israel broke a record going after it. It looked like they took an F-15. I think they even had to refuel it possibly, but they flew it 1,500 kilometers, something to that effect. And they ended up taking out that one refueler, which I thought was kind of strange. I would have thought that maybe there was something else there that they wanted to blow up, but that's what the story was talking about. So who knows? Israel has apparently, like I said, destroyed about 1/3 of Iran's missile launchers. They were able to launch 65 missiles and dozens of drones at Israel overnight and Monday, most of which were intercepted, though there were 4 impacts that killed 8 civilians. Iran has yet to hit a military target. That's actually not true. They hit the Knesset, or however you say it. They hit that, which is, I think, I should have looked this up, but they kept saying it was the equivalent of the Israeli Pentagon. So that was the building that was hit. And if that's the Knesset, then yeah, cool. And if it's not, then oops. So whatever. The equivalent of the Pentagon in Israel has been hit by drone or missile or something. So to say no military targets have been hit is blatant lie. And this was written today, by the way, and this story's already been out. So poo-poo on you, Breitbart. You or poo-poo on, who's the author? Joel Pollack? Poo-poo on you, sir. Poo-poo on you. Iran's intelligence chief is among the latest key senior officials killed in the Israeli airstrikes. Mohammed Qasemi, he's the elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps head of intelligence, was killed Sunday alongside with his deputy Hassan Mohakik and others during the attack. Israeli forces were able to take out the 3 at once while they were attending a meeting. These dudes got to stop going to meetings together. But yeah, it was a precise IDF intelligence. They struck a structure in Tehran where several senior officials from Iranian intelligence organizations were located. There's another picture where they blew up one of their launchers. Pretty cool. I mean, it sucks that we're having a war, but for some reason it's always sort of neat to watch it. I don't know why. It's a morbid curiosity, I'm sure. Israel strikes command center of Iran's elite military unit that led Tehran's support. Yeah, this was the Quds forces had been the main conduit for many of the terrorist attacks and assaults against Israel in recent decades. Now the command center where these attacks were planned have been completely destroyed. So this will slow down the main group of people that have been directly involved with a lot of the terrorist activities in the proxies and all that stuff. So big time ahead of the Revolutionary Guard intelligence unit. That was a big score, big strike. Now something interesting, and there's speculation happening there. I didn't watch the dude's show, so I don't know what extra info he has. I've seen the same story that basically said Iran supposedly hacked Israel, and this hack had all sorts of information that was top secret for sure, but all sorts of crazy stuff. I don't know. They kind of hinted that they were going to be dropping it this week. Now, there's rumors that they might have possibly hacked the Epstein files. That would be friggin' awesome if that's the case. It would make me think it wasn't Iran that got it if the Epstein files get released. But, man, wouldn't that be a great way to have that information released? Have it released by our enemy, right? That's fabulous. I think each and every one of us on this side of the fence would be like, cool, it's out. Who cares? That's almost the better way to do it because then they don't care about the fallout and repercussions of it. I like that. I don't know. Something weird. I don't know if there's truth, though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes out. They supposedly hacked a bunch of data, so we'll see. Here was an attack, or Iran launching a bunch of missiles. Exactly. Yeah, all that stuff they were saying. Oops, not that. Oil and gold took a big tumble. Now, the main reason I pulling up this page is it actually had a bunch of the damage. There was some pretty crazy stuff that has been happening as far as damage to Israel, and so this is more important to me. So yeah, bad hits. And again, you're seeing just gobs of missiles coming into the sky. I know there's some going up, some coming down. Doesn't seem like things are, like they shot 65 things and we shot down all but 4. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's possibly being exaggerated a little. Here's just some of the incredible damage. Again, not sure what building that is, but that's bad, right? And here's some more. Here's some more stuff. Whoops.
Mais faut bater esse cu. Oh, ele põe, filho. Tira. Ele, filho. Uou, vai bater esse cu. Vai bater esse cu, cara.
Some crazy stuff, right? So it's amazing how these fights are going on, and it's just a lot of damage, right? A lot of damage. So Israeli systems, here's where they were targeting each other. This is kind of a weird one. I can't quite fully grasp the targeting each other, but when it blows up here, that's pretty gnarly, right? So I'm gonna play a little of this. So I think these were the missiles that were supposed to shoot down, part of the Iron Dome or whatever. I forget the name of their missiles. Is it the Shaheed or is that the Iran? Whatever. I don't think these are Patriots, and these aren't THAAD. I think these are their missiles. But somehow Iran has figured out how to attack in such a way that's causing a problem for Israel to defend themselves. Very likely, this is why we're possibly heading down to help. So Israelis scream as Iran's ballistic missile blacks out Tel Aviv. We don't need that one. I thought I had one of these that was showing. Yeah, this is just wild. This is Israel. This isn't Gaza. And that's what the headline kind of says on this one is, this is Israel. And it's just like, damn. That's not 4 missiles getting through. Now, there's also a lot of discussion that they've been hitting residential areas and actually killing civilians, which civilians are dying on both sides. I don't want to make it sound... That's what's weird is it's like a one-sided thing. They frequently try to do it like Israel's civilians are dying. So, oh my God, the United States has to get involved. In fact, another big story that's been pushed that I ignored intentionally, but I'm going to bring it up. We have the national, the United States, when you have your embassy. We have an embassy, and apparently a missile struck near the embassy, and there was a concussion blast that I think broke some windows or caused a little bit of damage. But they're making this like, oh, the U.S. embassy gets damaged. Like, they're just trying to blow it up like it's a big deal. Mike Huckabee came out and said, look, it was a concussion. It didn't hurt. Nobody was injured. Caused a teeny bit of damage. They didn't actually strike the embassy. So I don't know if that was one of those things they were hoping they'd be able to utilize to get into the war, because I'm not okay with that. I know, and I feel like Trump desperately wants to be able to hit those nukes. We're the only ones that can do it. We're the only ones that can do this. So how do we make that okay to do, right? Do we just do it covertly and that's that? Possibly. I just brought this up because, Israel's getting annihilated, and so is Iran right now. And after 3 years of war with Ukraine, right now they're sitting at over $175 billion in damage. Just this year alone, they're up $23 billion in damage. Just Insane. War is not good. Not to mention how expensive the weapons are, too. Just wasting money. Killing people, too. Which the deep state loves, obviously, but that's not generally good. This is when the TV station was hit while the chick was live on the air.
صدای متجاوز به خاک وطن، صدای متجاوز به صدای حق و حقیقت است. آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استودیو.
Allah, is that you? Yeah, Allah is right. I don't know if Allah helped you a whole lot there, buddy. Not sure he was present at that time. Yeah. This is from the outside of that same facility.
یونس شادلو سردبیر گروه دفاعی خبرگزاری صدا و سیما در این چند سال در تمام عملیات‌های وعده صادق.
So anyway, they hit the hell out of that building listening to this guy. Guzidi. That's all I know, man. Khormasabzi, Guzidi. Nada, or what is it? Ader and nah. That's it. That's like I think about the 4 words I know. Oh, and if you sneeze and you're from Iran, and then I would say Ofayat Boshe. That's what I would say. There you go. I know how to say bless you in like a whole crap ton of languages. That's one thing that was always fun for me. Netanyahu to ABC News targeting Iran's supreme leader. He says it won't make the war last longer. It will end the war, which sounds like they're making points for this to happen next or soon. That would be interesting. Might very well help things stop. I mean, the Ayatollah is a big part of the problem. In fact, this is why so many Iranians left Iran and came to the United States and other countries, but a lot of them came here. And again, have many Persian friends, many Persian friends. I have a great friend that works out, and we talk about this stuff all the time. She's Christian, wears the big cross, and I'm like, you obviously can't wear that when you go back to Iran. And she goes, no, they'd kill me. It's like, wow, right? So the Ayatollah is a big problem and has been for a very long time.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. Let me start with the news that has just come in. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Iran has been urgently signaling that it wants to end hostilities and to resume talks over its nuclear program. According to the Journal, they have been sending messages to Israel and the United States via Arab intermediaries. Have you received that message from the Iranians?
Well, not directly, but I'm not surprised. I mean, they want to continue to have these fake talks in which they lie, they cheat, they string the U.S. along, and we have very solid intel on that. But of course, they want to keep on building their nuclear weapons and building their mass ballistic missile arsenal, which they're firing at our people. They want to continue to create the 2 existential threats against Israel while they're talking. That's not going to happen. We're not at the 11th hour, we're at the 12th hour, and we stopped. We acted to secure the life of the nation, and we're going to continue until we remove the 2 existential threats, the nuclear threat and the threat of 20,000 ballistic missiles that are equivalent to 2 nuclear bombs. So they want to stop and keep it, but we are committed to removing those threats.
20,000. The number that everyone's been throwing around is 3,000. 3,000. Now, no offense, I don't fully trust Netanyahu, and for him to exaggerate would make a lot of sense. 20,000 missiles when they're saying they've got 3,000? Now, overall explosives, we're talking pretty solid amount of explosive. They've even supposedly got some bigger explosive ones that they haven't even used yet. Thank God. Pakistan's calling for the Muslim states to unite against Israel. I think Trump, to a large extent, got in front of this, getting Saudi Arabia involved, getting Turkey involved, getting the Houthis in Yemen to stop. These were all things that Trump did to keep Pakistan from doing this. He also got Pakistan and India to stop fighting. So Pakistani Defense Minister Khawaja Asif, dude, shut the fuck up. How about that? All right? Keep your, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say something horrible about, anyway. Elon Musk gives Iranians access to Starlink after the regime blocks the internet. I think that's pretty nice of him, frankly, to be honest. I know many people would say, oh, she's helping the enemy. No, the people are not the enemy. It's the government. It's the Shah, really. The Ayatollah, sorry. Ayatollah Khomeini. He's the problem. The president's the problem. A lot of these military leaders were the problem, who are almost all dead now. So thank you, Musk, for doing that. I'm glad you and Trump have stopped fighting. And I don't think they're ever going to be close because they can't. It just didn't work well. Politically and optically, it didn't work well, especially considering how many government contracts Elon Musk has. Anytime any of those contracts are expanded, they would constantly just be, is it because you and Trump are best buddies? So they had to break apart. I kind of feel like, to a large extent, that was the point of the fight, was to make it look real. And then Trump's like, I have no desire to talk to him ever again. And so I think that's important. I don't know. One of the other things, too, that kind of jumped at me recently, because someone's been saying, it might be Ben Fulford or something. Man, he's just been full of shit lately, but I still like to listen to him every once in a while. But he's been talking about the fake Trump's been running around. Very possibly. Who knows? I don't know. The one with the white eyes is easy to tell. He's not the one I've been seeing a lot of lately. I feel like I've been seeing the other Trump. But he says there's a pretty significant difference in height. Elon Musk and the real Trump are about the same height. And one of the problems maybe with having Elon around so much is if Trump is standing next to him and it's not the real Trump, that's going to make it obvious. So part of me wonders that too. Anyway, whatever the case is, frequently when we saw him, think about when we saw him in the White House, there's a lot of times where we saw Musk, right? Standing next to Trump, sitting at his desk. I just feel like there's something to that maybe. Needless to say, here's some of the intel that matters. I don't know why Flight Tracker knows this. I guess they want Israel to know. Or they want, Iran to know. But whatever the case is, we just sent a bunch of refuelers, a bunch of Boeing KC-46As and KC-135 aerial refueling tankers. So we'll see what's up. But they sent, a bunch of refuelers, which obviously implies a lot of action is going to be happening. They would fly these over prior to this showing up, because this would use a lot of that refueling abilities very simply. So the USS Nimitz carrier strike group is moving from the South China Sea to head on over to the Middle East. I don't assume it takes that long to get there. These ships can travel pretty quickly, and they're very good at doing surveillance to make sure nothing's in the way to cause problems. So they're on their way. This would imply that we are very likely looking at an escalation within a few days. Within a few days. Something is going to happen, or we're just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and hit that site hard and let it be and just be like, we're out now. We just wanted to do the one strike we needed to do. I don't know where they would drop the bunker busters. I don't know if that would be something that would be launched from a fighter or from potentially a bomber, which we have Diego Garcia. We've got quite a few bombers over there, B-52s, as well as some B-1s. I would assume the B-1s would be kind of out of the question, because to my understanding, the bunker buster's got a rather long nose to it. My understanding, they used to use, maybe this is a different model, or one of the bunker busters, maybe not the one that they're actually going to use to get into the nuclear facility. But my understanding is they took the barrels of howitzers and used that as like this tip, it's like long front part. So it's heavy as hell. It's got an extremely strong metal barrel, if you will, to drill into the dirt and then explode. So these bombs, to my understanding, are quite a bit longer. They've got a big old long thing on the front of them. So the B-52, maybe on the external pylons, I don't know. I don't know how they launch. I think an F-15 could probably fit one of them, if I remember correctly, maybe under its middle center line, instead of where they they'll put a fuel tank there frequently. But also we've got issues where they'll put them on the side, fuel tanks on the side wings. All said, be right back. Sorry, they're working on my solar, so my sunglasses they'll adjust here in a second. But anyway, all said. Crazy stuff going on in the world, folks. And finally about to have some solar for my house. Finally working. It's only taken 8 months. Anyway, we've come to find out jury deliberation is continuing for Mike Lindell and his frank speech. I guess there was an additional ask for some information, evidence, and they basically said, look, what you got is what you got. They don't have anything extra. So that's that. Of course, want to remind you guys that MyPillow is the place to go. One, you can help Mike with this wonderful legal challenge. Two, you're getting the With God All Things Are Possible Roll and Go pillow free with any purchases. Got a lot of great stuff given away. $49.98 for any color, any size of the Giza sheets. Also got the kitchen towel set going on, $9.99 deal with that. How much are the regular ones? The regular 6-piece towel set is $29.98. You get 6-pack dishes at $14.99. That's a pretty good deal. Or the 8-pack waffle dishes, $9.99. Oh, they got pot holders too. Look at that. They got kitchen aprons. They got a crap ton of stuff. You know, those beach towels are, oh, they got lounge beach towels. Yeah, those are really nice. They're really big too. Yeah. The premium ones. Oh, the premium towels are really nice. They're not really more. What the hell? $29.98 for the regular towel set. Or get the premium. Oh, and you just get one bath sheet. I see. It's one of the big bath towels. The premiums are really nice, though. They are really, really nice. All said, they've got, wow, the bathrobes are incredible. They've got some great stuff. Great, great stuff. Men's towel wrap. I guess that's you wrap it around your waist. And it's got a pocket because, you know, when you're walking around commando, okay, sure. Hey, no. I don't make the rules. I just break them. That's all. Yep. So, again, some great stuff. You've got the Mike Cross that Mike Lindell wears all the time. You've got a couple different versions of it. You can save 50%. Also got the Rev 7, an amazing energy drink. You can get a free 3-pack. You just got to pay shipping. Save 30% on that. It's very good stuff. Also, the dog beds and the best pillow you're ever going to use. They've got blankets. They've got everything under the sun. They've also got the My Store. Check that out. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. That's mypillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you have ever had. Russian missile strike at a command center in Donbass as we transition into more of the Russia war, which is not over yet either. So, yeah, we'll see if we can get this to play, or we will try to play this again. There we go. So anyway, that was command and control. That was probably a pretty big deal that they hit. Who knows? Zelensky's latest tweet storm, full of panic. This dude's freaking out. He realizes nobody really is there to help anymore. He realizes they're losing this war in a big way. They're running out of ammo in a big way. They're running out of money. Zelensky's in a world of hurt, and Trump doesn't seem even remotely interested in feeding this anymore. Like, he wants this war to stop, and I think ultimately he's trying to wear Zelensky down, because Zelensky won't handle this publicly. It's not like it's the United States' responsibility to make sure that Ukraine can continue to fight the war. Ukraine should stop at this point. You guys lost a little territory. It can get significantly worse. Don't let it. The territory you lost, you don't even like those people. You were shelling them, for crying out loud. So again, it's insanity. And Zelensky, yeah, his days are numbered. Putin thanks Erdogan for organizing the Moscow-Kiev talks. We'll see if anything comes from it. Hopefully it does. But again, nice that Turkey's been helpful. Spy satellite uncovers a massive stealth drone, essentially, that China's got. A pretty big size one. They intentionally left it out here so we'd see it. That's kind of like we intentionally let them know that we're flying all of our tankers, or a bunch of our tankers, out to Iran area. Well, I think they're actually heading to Spain or Europe or somewhere that, well, Europe for sure. I forget exactly where. But yes, they are definitely showing us this is part of their whole drone leap forward. They think this might work with some of their H-20 bombers or J-36. Might be kind of doing the same thing that we're thinking of doing with the F-47 and the little drones that are supposed to accompany it. Whatever the case is, China's letting us know they've got this stuff going on. We've got a green group that has ties to the Chinese Communist Party, and it's a network of influencing U.S. policy. I think we've talked about these guys before. No, it's a new report by State Armor. It argues that the CCP is co-opting the American Progressive Climate Change Lobby to advance a transition away from fossil fuels. They've been playing a part trying to get us off fossil fuels, trying to get us all to, the end of the world's coming, the end of the world's coming, the climate change is going to get us. And then meanwhile, China is pumping out more coal plants and more nuke plants, and they're continuing to manufacture stuff and pollute the world. But they've got us weakening ourselves because of, well, so many people that are half asleep. Fortunately, we're not going to tolerate that anymore, and certainly putting a stop to it, for that matter. Had a really strong earthquake out in Lima, Peru. 6.1. Did some extensive damage, it seems. One fatality so far. We've got some landslides, which I've got a picture of here, or I guess video. I say I guess because I can't tell. Like, you see all the dust, and I assume that's debris and dirt falling, but like you can't see it moving, though. It's, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but whatever. This is from the earthquake. That's pretty messed up. Here's another weird situation. There's some flooding we've got going on in Fairmont, West Virginia. This is bizarre as well.
Fuck! What the fuck? Oh, shit!
Yeah, I don't even... It's like coming over a house. That's... Wow. Right? Sorry about all the cussing. Didn't realize that was going to be there, but... Also messed up news. Wow. Do I know how to say this word? Probably not. Kahikinui. It's being evacuated. It's on Hawaii's island of Maui. Oh, of course. Back at Maui again, are we? Lahaina. You guys remember that? Well, we got another fire. Over on the... Is this the dry side? I think it is. I think it's on... Or is this the rainforest side? I think this is the rainforest side. Whatever the case is, they've got another fire. 500 acres so far, 2 days active. Zero unknown cause, and zero containment. Zero containment. Should be looking for the energy weapons out there, shouldn't we? Of course. Republicans face critical week on the Trump mega bill. I don't know. They're making a big deal about it. They got to figure out what they can shave, what really matters. They're hoping to hit the July 4th deadline. I don't know. Basically making a bunch of noise. Oh my God, it's so hard. This is bad. This is bad. Beep, 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 beep. So whatever. Get to work, guys. Shut the fuck up. Get back to work. Senate's bugging the hell out of me. House managed to get it through. Senate better. But you guys in the Senate are, I think, 6 years and stuff. I think a lot of these guys are more tied into some of these like Medicaid, for example, or Medicare. They're getting some of this money, or they're just so worried about having to spin it to their own people. It's the illegals that we're taking it from. It's the corruption and the crime that we're taking it from. Not from regular people that should have it. In fact, what we're doing is saving it so people can use it. It's the opposite of what they keep claiming. So whatever. American Federation of Teachers President Randy Weingarten, who we very much dislike, is a longtime powerhouse member of the Democratic National Committee. She's leaving the DNC. She wrote a letter to Ken Martin, the main dude, and said, "We have fundamental disagreements." So she's out. Yay. Probably a good thing in the big picture. Getting rid of the old guard. Iraq warns of $300 per barrel oil. I'm going to say this. First off, it would suck. Oil is probably going to go over $100 a barrel. I think we're at 73 or so right now. We'll check here in a second. It was earlier. But if oil gets up over 100, that's actually kind of a weirdly good thing for us. We sell oil now. And if the price of oil goes up significantly, we're going to make a bunch more money on that oil than we would have otherwise. In fact, it starts to become very profitable than when it's at $52 a barrel. $52 a barrel, I don't think the United States does well when it comes to selling oil. I think it probably costs us a hair more than that typically to get out a lot of the oil. $200 a barrel. Dude, we're making crap tons of money. Talk about paying off the debt, right? That would be one major way to have that start to happen. So whatever the case is, I don't think it's going to go to 300. That would be pretty crazy, but it could. Trump family's announcing another venture. They got a mobile phone company that they're announcing. Cool. It's going to be made in America, and it's going to be American. It's kind of cool. And the Trump family's going to do it. I'm sure it's going to piss off a lot of people. They're like, it's not fair. You shouldn't be able to do that. I don't know. I mean, unless Trump signs some sort of weird national deal where they use your guys' phones for everybody, then, I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. But a lot of people will probably buy their phones from America if they can. And, so who knows? It's pretty cool that they're doing it. So, see, oil is at 71.32. It actually went down a little bit. It was at 72 earlier. Yeah, actually almost 75 when the day started. Holy crap, it's gone down a bunch. Dow is up a little bit, which kind of doesn't really make sense, frankly, with everything that's going on. Gold dropped a lot, but not really. It's still over 34. 33.50 is where it was hanging for a while. It actually got up quite a bit over 34.50 again. It actually almost hit its high again recently. So again, a lot is happening when it comes to commodities, the world, confidence in the stock markets. Folks, I don't trust the stock market at all. I highly recommend you consider diversifying any 401k or IRA you have. Stocks are shaky, dollars shaky, precious metals are doing admirably, doing very well, and there's still a great deal of growth, especially in silver. If there's any way that you can go extra silver when you do this, I would ask questions like that. Extra silver is going to be just a better way to get this money. It's a bad way to store it, but it's a great way to own it because silver is actually one of the things that's value is reduced, mainly because of paper contracts and other stuff, but it has a lot of usage in manufacturing, and it is one of the ones that's expected to certainly double, but I've heard stories of hitting 4 or 5 times. The ratio between gold and silver should be significantly lower than it is right now. In fact, we're looking at 100 to 1, and it's not supposed to be that high right now. Literally, gold is 100 times more valuable per ounce. 1 ounce gold, 1 ounce of silver. 100 times more value in this itty-bitty thing than this. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like, what, 50 or something weird like that. So there's a lot of growth baked into silver and still in gold. A lot of people are expecting gold to hit 5,000. That's probably not too far out of the possibilities, especially when we consider some of the other problems that we're likely looking at in the not-too-distant future. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Let my good friends at Goldco help you out. They're the best in the business, especially when it comes to customer service. They've got the highest price buyback guarantee. They've got multiple suppliers, which is something many people can't acclaim either. They also can get you up to 10% of free silver for the face value of your 401k or IRA. Up to 10% of free silver. When I talked about a good deal, that's an excellent deal. Also got a chance to get this half-ounce Ronald Reagan collector's coin. When you put in the 4 data points and say, give me my thing, it's going to pop up. Give you like 20 minutes to call, and it'll give you a phone number. If you're able to call them within 20 minutes of when you fill this stuff out, you're probably going to get hooked up, certainly with that Ronald Reagan coin, good chance. Also going to get the free up to 10% silver if you start to work through this deal. Got this financial future book from Trump, and of course your gold and silver kit, how to maximize your retirement and protect yourself through this crazy cycle. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that stupid system before they get out of you. All right, so the Attorney General of all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and 4 U.S. territories have all agreed to a $7.4 billion settlement with bankrupt drug maker Purdue Pharma. They're the ones that made OxyContin. OxyContin, and what they've been blamed for, is creating a nationwide opioid addiction crisis. They knew that their OxyContin was extraordinarily addictive. They knew it was. They didn't care. They made a bunch of money. They're now bankrupt, but they made a bunch of money. California City makes homeless eligible for arrest if they refuse 3 offers of shelter. San Jose, I believe. Wherever the hell it is. There it is, San Jose. I don't know how to feel about this, frankly. I mean, the homeless problem is a huge problem. Apparently, they voted, council members voted 9-2 in favor of amending the city's encampment code of conduct. Essentially, if they offer you another place to live 3 times, and you say no 3 times, then they can arrest you. I guess what, you put them in jail at that point? I mean, I don't know. And okay, I mean, that's another way to pay for the problem. But it's a step in a direction. I don't know about the right direction, but we've got to do something about homeless. It is part of our problem. I feel like once we get sort of some of our other stuff figured out, and we can figure out where a lot of this waste and crap is going, then we can maybe start to come up with something. Again, if it's private, it'll probably be taken advantage of. I don't trust that. And if it's government funded, it's probably going to be inefficient unless they can hopefully do something smart, like Doge can be helpful in creating an organization that might not be an absolute waste of money. Well, who knows? We'll see how it plays out. But we've got a huge homeless problem, and we've got to figure out how to do it. And again, homelessness is not a simple problem. Roughly a third of homeless people, I'm using real rough numbers, but it's not too terribly far off. Roughly a third of homeless people are mental patients. They're messed up in the head. There's almost nothing you could do. You could literally give them a room, put them inside of it, and they would literally walk back outside later and live back on the streets. It's nothing you can do about it. About 30% of them, a third of them, are people that are just down and out and will never, ever figure it out. Like they're just drug use. They can't really clean up their lives enough to ever get to a place where they might be able to get a job or anything like that. They're just pretty much no hope to a degree. I don't mean that to sound in a bad way, but kind of. Then roughly a third of them have fallen on hard times and want to get the hell off the street as quick as possible. And those are the ones you can definitely help, and help quickly. And the mental ones are ones that you can help. There's different ways we can think about doing that. And I don't know if it's maybe enclosed structures that are somewhat like prisons, but with a little bit of freedom of mobility. Maybe the ability to go out and do stuff if they're chaperoned. I don't know. And then the people that are just lost, I don't know. Maybe we put them in their own little facility too. Again, I don't know. I don't have all the answers on this. I think it's something that many people need to talk about, but it's a huge problem to say the least. German commissioner is calling for a purge of AfD members from the police ranks. Remember, this is the conservative group in Germany that is being outright hated. They're trying to remove them from everywhere. They were literally trying to jail the person that was running for the AfD member of parliament or president or whatever the hell their prime minister. I don't know what the hell their thing is called, but they are definitely trying to fight this conservative movement that's happening worldwide. And they're trying to make it illegal, which Germany's just... Oh, Germany, how far you have fallen. Someone was asking if Let's Go Brandon's protected by the First Amendment in school. That's an interesting question. Now, I think a lot of people just instantly go like, yeah, hell yeah, it should. And there's a part of me that thinks that. Again, you're not cussing. It's instead of, I understand that we used to say F Joe Biden, right? And this is what became of that. Let's go Brandon. So there's a lot of people that are like, but yeah, that's like the same thing as saying F Joe Biden. And it's like, no, it's not actually. It's the same thing as saying let's go Brandon. Now, we know what we're making, who we're making fun of. So, okay, whatever. The other side of it is a lot of the people in schools that are left-leaning are the ones that will lose their S if some student is wearing this. Now, that's kind of, to me, is the real crux of this question, right? That is the real part of this. So if you allow your child, and again, I'm just hypothetical, okay? If you allow your child to wear this Let's Go Brandon shirt, you better make sure your child either A, knows how to fight, or B, knows how to get out of a fight. Because he's going to piss someone off. He's going to potentially get beat up. He will. Mob rules. Happens in schools all the time. And so from that standpoint, I could see where they might be like, you shouldn't wear it. Now, is it okay from a First Amendment standpoint? I think absolutely. Absolutely. From a standpoint of keeping a safe school, questionable. But they let them wear all this pride stuff. They let them wear all this stuff like Mexican flags and all these other kinds of things. They let them do all sorts of other like profane stuff against our side of the fence. That's perfectly okay and celebrated because mainly our side doesn't generally attack people. So that's where I have the problem with it. Why is it okay for you guys to offend us? But if we offend you somehow, I can't do that. That's not okay. That offends me. It's like, what? You offend me all the time with your stuff. Yeah, but that's different. You're just a racist, or you're a sexist, or you're a misogynist, or you're okay. So if I don't call you names, and then if I do call you names, can I wear the shirt? How about that? What if I call you, I don't know, I'll make up something too. Call you racist just for the hell of it, even though, Joe Biden and Trump are both white. But what if I call you racist if you're pissed off at me for wearing the Let's Go Brandon? I don't know. Like I said, it's I think a more complex question that should be discussed, and hopefully we can figure it out. It's just sad, mainly because this guy is he was one of my heroes growing up. Him and Indiana Jones, man. Well, Han Solo too, but yeah, I love those guys. Bruce Willis, his daughter, Rumor, I think it's his youngest daughter, just kind of giving an update on Father's Day of his battle with Alzheimer's, dementia. He's dying. I mean, we're all dying technically, but Bruce Willis, yippee-ki-yay is something that's not happening as much right now. Such a good guy. Well, I don't know about that per se. Weird family. Had the whole thing where he was with Demi, and then Demi was with Ashton Kutcher for a while, and they were living together, and it's like, all right, whatever. Strange group. She's obviously Demi's child, those giant ears. I don't know what that is. Is that a girl? I guess. Anyway, all that said. So yeah, a lot of cool pictures that they shared. I thought that was pretty sweet. Gonna miss Bruce Willis when he goes. Again, he's kind of already gone, but it's just sad. Anyway, lots changing in the world, folks. There's a lot of people that may not get through a lot of this, of what's going on. In fact, a lot of the people, we're starting to hear stories, at least my girlfriend especially, from back in the Philippines. They're hearing all sorts of people are starting to just kind of drop dead. Weird ways, weird places. I think a lot of people are assuming, and maybe rightly so, that there could be something related to the sleeve roll-up. I think a lot of us probably assume that to be the case. Whatever's happening, it's it's getting a little strange out there. So just be good to each other as best you can. Be as ready and prepared as you can be. And just understand some more crazy's coming. If we stay level-headed and collect, I don't know, whatever. If we stay calm, we'll fare better. The ones who are going to freak out and run out of the streets, they're the ones that are going to get rounded up, arrested, and or hurt, killed, whatever. So be mindful, be kind, keep love in your heart, keep positive feelings in your mind, keep thinking about where you would like us to be. What would you like this world to look like? Not what crazy stuff do you want to see happen so it feels like we're moving forward. No, where do you want to see us? What is the ideal future for you? Think about that. Spend some time thinking about that, and you will help make that possible. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.